I feel like people need to understand the fact that when it comes to, I hate to be, the harbinger of doom and gloom and destruction, but
Come with it.
we got to be living in reality.
Mm.
When the grid goes down, you definitely do not want to be on these airplanes.
Agreed.
I keep telling people that. I've been telling people for about a year to stay off the helicopter, stay off the commercial flights, because when the grid goes down, that is going to be the inception point. It can be far worse than 9/11. You got everybody on these airplanes. The grid goes down. All these helicopters, these planes, are all coming down with it because it's all connected to technological devices. All technological devices is connected to the grid system. So it's one of those that's one of the things that people need to be watching out for any time between now and the year 2025, because the World Economic Forum said it's inevitable, but that the grid is going to go down.
And what grid is this?
The electrical grid, because the grid system is connected to the ley lines. So this is what you get your personification of the matrix. When you look at your hand, they have ley lines on them, right? So meaning that you're born into a matrix system. You're born into a corporate structure that keeps you subjugated and bounded on the frequency of time to where you're trapped in an artificial time analysis mechanism. So when you're trapped in on the frequency of time, right, that means you're trapped into material. So that means that you're a light body trapped inside of a light prism, which is actually a prison. So now you're on a prison planet that is being controlled by a grid system. And that grid system is being galvanized by the electricity, which works in symbiotic connection with the moon when you're talking about the Saturn moon matrix. So the thing is where all that stuff is the foundation of materialism, because it's all operating on the lunar cycle. Sun cycle is galvanized by a matriarch under the laws of nature. So meaning that everything in the material world has to phase out. So it's one of those things, like I said, you got to be operating at 0 point energy. If you're not operating at 0 point energy, it's going to be hard for you to ascend. So like I said, now we're going to get back into the grid system. Like the grid is part of the sleep spell. Since we are humans, we can only see 10% of the electromagnetic spectrum. And since we can only see 10% of the electromagnetic spectrum, that shuts down the spiritual eye, which is activated by the God mind. So you can't tap into your godhood until you have these new energies that's coming in. When you're talking about the open vortex that's coming in August of 2023, this year. These are the new energies that's basically going to amalgamate the chosen ones, together to where they can combat the afflictions of the three-dimensional paradigm, because unity consciousness has the ability to reverse the polarity of evil on the planet. So, like I said, when you have a certain demographic of people, when they're operating from a God frequency through the mind and their neurological faculties, that can basically dematerialize the grid system, because the grid system is the sleep spell, which is the sleep spell of Leviathan. It's kind of like that movie. You ever seen the movie
Dark City?
They Live?
Which one?
They Live.
Yes.
With Rowdy Piper.
Yes. I thought you was going to go to Dark City. Yeah.
So that's why, a lot of people don't have, they don't believe that draconian reptilians are real. Right. But like I said, you can only see a certain light spectrum. Right. And so you can only see a certain light spectrum that shuts down the spiritual eye to where you can only see certain things with the two physical eyes.
Right.
So just like in a movie, They Live, what happened was when you had that frequency, there was a frequency in the atmosphere to where it kept people in a sleep state. And then when he put on the glasses was basically black synthetic matter, which is melanin. And you need melanin, the melanocytes, which is the sun heat genes, to activate the Christ consciousness. So when you activate the Christ consciousness, this is where you can see everything when the veil is lifted. The veil is lifted because the veil is controlled by the grid system. So when you have these energies coming in August, that is going to be the dematerialization of the grid system. So like I said, the grid system is connected to the electrical grid. So you don't want to be on these airplanes and things of that nature when shit starts to go down.
In the conspiracy world,
no pun intended.
in the
Oh, okay.